Good morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Today is Tuesday. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday, September the 14th, 2021. And it is time for the Tuesday headlines on News in Motion. I am your host, Gail Dudley, and we are ready to get started. Whether you are watching live or the replay, I just want to say welcome to today's broadcast. Yes, welcome to today's broadcast on News in Motion. If you're watching live, you can watch on all the platforms. Or if you're watching the replay, check the replay out right here on Facebook.com or YouTube.com/Gail Dudley. I am so excited to see you in here this morning. Good morning to all of you. If you're coming in, if you're on the West Coast, I want to say good morning if you're watching it early. If you're watching it at noonday, good afternoon. If you're watching it this evening, good evening. I'm just excited that you have tuned in for this Tuesday, for this episode of News in Motion. All right, y'all, we're taking a different trip today. By now, I want to find out all the information before I get started. And since I was on that break, good morning, everyone. I see you coming in here. Before I took my break, I knew that there was something brewing. But I wanted to do my research before I shared it with all of you. So today, if you're ready for some research, we're talking about something I said last week. We're going to break down this Texas bill. Senate Bill 8. We're going to break that down. So if you got pen and paper, get it. And I'm calling out this name on purpose this morning. I see you, Kim Edmondson. We talked about this a couple Saturdays ago. So hopefully everyone has their pencil or paper or notepad or laptop or whatever. I'm going to give you a lot of content today. This content is not just for your research on a Texas bill. This content is going to be research on any bill. I am breaking it down for you today. So I'm going to slow walk it a little bit. We'll probably go our full 30 minutes today. One day I'll get back to 15, maybe. But if you know that anyone wants this information, I know we have a lot of high school students that tune in. There's a class right now tuning in from Olentangy. So good morning, class, to you. They're going to be actually taking notes. This is a part of their homework assignment. Y'all, this is what's happening. So yes, you can pipe me in to your classroom when we do certain things like this. You can ask for a calendar of when I'm going to roll things out like this, and then you can pipe me. You can just stream me right into your classroom. So I am so excited about that today. Let me go ahead and get us started with our intro, and then we'll break down this Texas bill. Yeah, I'm still geeked about the music. I know y'all get tired of me talking about it, but I'm still geeked about the music. All right, y'all, so this is what's happening. In the headlines, excuse me, morning allergies for real. There's a lot of talk on Governor Greg Abbott signing the SB, which is Senate Bill 8, into law, what we call now the new Texas heartbeat law. Now, Texas law banning abortions as early as 6 weeks is what most people are talking about. That's where you're seeing a lot of the protests, things that are going on. The Supreme Court's not really responding, but the U.S. Department of Justice did respond. And the U.S. Department of Justice now has filed a suit against Texas, the government, the lawmakers of Texas. Now, after 6 weeks, the bill deals with abortions on the case of rape or incest. They're saying that's not what we're looking at, rape or incest, but makes an exception if the mother's life is in danger. All others, there's a bill. This is what's going to happen when you come to Texas law. Excuse me, y'all, really, allergies is kicking my behind today. All right. So there's also a law that most people are talking about, which is the bounty system. Now, the bounty system is deputizing ordinary people to sue those involved in performing abortions and giving them a financial incentive to do so. The financial incentive, $10,000. All right. The law establishes a kind of bounty system. This is a system which is very concerning to me. And I'll tell you why in a moment. Again, this is my personal commentary after I've gone through and dug into this law. All right, y'all. If the plaintiffs are successful, the law allows them to collect a cash amount of judgment in the amount of $10,000 along with their legal fees from those they sue. Now, if they lose, they do not have to pay the defendant's legal fees, costs, or anything. Yeah, I see y'all in here. Yeah, just crazy. All right, y'all, this was enacted on May the 19th, 2021. That's when Governor Greg Abbott actually signed the law. Many people are saying he signed the law in September. He signed this law on May the 19th, 2021. And it has begun on September the 1st, 2021. So if we're going to operate, y'all, it's important that we operate in truth when we're talking about this. And I find it really interesting. Again, y'all know I wanted to make sure that I had the detailed information before I shared it. And the more I kept digging into this, I said, okay, there's a lot of things that are out there that are floating out there that's not necessarily the truth. So I always want us to operate in truth. So if you give me a moment, I'm going to begin to work through this, and then I'll give you other news headlines for this morning because we do have others as well. All right, here's the background. Now, this is a different fetal heartbeat bill from House Bill 1500. House Bill 1500 was previously introduced by Phil King on July the 18th, 2013. And this was in the wake of Rick Perry, him signing Senate Bill 5 into law, but the bill was not passed. That bill was not passed. So some people are conflating the two bills. You have to separate them because the bill that was implemented was going through the stages in 2013. It did not pass. Now, y'all go back to Schoolhouse Rock. Come on. If you don't know it, it's on YouTube. Just go Google Schoolhouse Rock, how a bill becomes law. A bill is just a bill. Y'all remember what he said when he was sitting on the steps of Congress? The bill is just a bill until it becomes law. It does not become law until the governor or the president signs it into law. Okay, and then it can be repealed. It can be, people can sue behind it, and it can sometimes go away or sometimes it'll stand. Or there's adjustments that will be made to this. But a bill is just a bill until it comes into law. Now, this Texas Heartbeat Bill did become law. So it's the Texas Heartbeat Act is what they're calling it. So you need to understand that. Okay, on March the 11th, 2021, the Texas Heartbeat Bill, which is Senate Bill 8 or SB 8 for short, y'all know I've been talking about this, was introduced by Senator Brian Hughes. A companion bill, House Bill 1515, was filed by Representative Shelby Slauson a day after the Texas House of Representatives. So y'all, before the bill became law, there were other people filing legislation to add to the bill or take away from the bill or adjust the bill. Those things happen. So listen, when those things are happening, they go into what you call committee. So you see people talking about committee, they go into committee. And when they're in committee, that's when they begin to negotiate. And that's when they begin to bring in what we call pork. And y'all know what pork is. Pork is how you going to beef up what I need to do on my side. I see y'all in here, hands, mace, tails. I see it. So y'all, the Republicans hold the majority of both houses. So let me talk about that just for a moment. Y'all, when a majority party holds both houses and the governor is also of that same party, guess what? Nothing on the other end is going to get passed. It's just going to be a stampede. That's why it is so important. Now, I believe in bipartisanship. I really do. I believe if we begin to move politics out of the way, we can actually see some fruit and see some things take place. I really believe that. Call me crazy, but I really believe it. I'm moderate. I done told you, I lean towards the Democratic side, but for the most cases, I'm independent, I'm moderate. That's who I am, because I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm understanding what you're bringing before me that you want me to vote on. And it's so important to do that, to really read and understand what is this about. Y'all, we need to get beyond sound bites. I've been talking about that forever. We need to get beyond sound bites. All right, y'all, the private civil enforcement feature of this anti-abortion legislation was engineered by Jonathan Mitchell. Now, understand, I'm giving y'all all men. Good morning, I'm giving y'all all men. Now, the provisions of the act, the Texas Heartbeat Act, allows any person to sue someone who performs or induces an abortion or aids or abet one cardiac activity and an embryo can be detected. So we're talking 6 weeks. Okay, we're talking 6 weeks. Now, here's my challenge as a woman, as a wife, and as a mother. What we're doing with this bill is that we're silencing people. So if I'm in trouble, I'm not talking to you because I don't know if the 10 grand is more important to you than me and my health and what I'm dealing with. And this is even before maybe I even know anything's going on. What about these young people? What about these teenage girls? What about these single women? What about those who have been raped? Those who are caught up in human trafficking? Let's talk about, and this is the part that's concerning to me, or someone who has a serious health issue and they could be in danger. So when we're talking about a bill, if they had women in the committee, y'all saw the pictures by now, there's not a woman in those pictures. If there had been a woman or several women in committee, we would have been able to have this kind of conversation, because mental health comes into play. Trauma. Yep. My body, what's going on? I don't know what's happening. All I know is that I was pulled into an alley. I was raped. I was beaten. I was abused. I was thrown into the back of a pickup truck or van. Now, understand, I told even the people in the classroom, I was going to go this direction today because it's important to talk about this, y'all. So this is the bill. So if somebody is putting me in a place, or is putting a young child, a teenager or a woman in a place to say, I'm not going to talk about it because that 10 grand may be more important to you than my body. Yeah. I want that to sit in for a moment. This is what's happening. So if someone knows that a doctor is performing this, 10 grand may be more important. Now, y'all not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Somebody's mother who may know the bill situation may report their own child or their daughter's friend or their son's girlfriend. Y'all, this is how serious it is when you start bringing in that type of money. Someone say, I need some bills. So since I need some bills paid, I'm going to report this. Now, hear me. I'm sharing with you information. I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm giving you the scenario. I'm giving you my relevant commentary at this point, but I'm also giving you a call to action. So we have all of this we need to balance when it comes to this bill. Now it says, although an abortion patient may not be named as a defendant, anybody who provides support for an unlawful abortion can be sued in addition to the physician performing the procedure. That includes staff members of a clinic, counselors, lawyers, financiers, and those who provide transportation. So just think, if you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver or a taxi cab driver or the bus driver, and you have no idea what's about to happen. If somebody's following you, if they're filming you, you too could be sued. Yeah, you too could be sued. And I see y'all in here, you saying I'm going deep. Y'all, this is so important. And I'm going this direction today because I think it's important that as we're coming up on the primaries for 2022, we need to dig deep on the candidates that we're thinking about voting in. Now, Honestly, I think it's time for us to get rid of Democrats and Republicans. Seriously. And if we begin to do our research and follow how people have voted, now hear me, even on the local level, people, we got to stop skipping the primaries and we need to stop skipping the special elections. Today in California, it's a major election for you about the recall. Today is the day. Voters are heading to the ballot boxes today. Today is the day for that. So we need to begin to research. This is why I want us to have ambassadors for News in Motion, so that we are communicating, not necessarily, not saying, here, this is how you should vote. I don't believe in that. But I do believe that we should start having these conversations saying, now let's talk about this law that was passed. Let's look at the people who signed off on this law. Let's look at the person or the people who brought the bill to the floor. Let's talk about this bill. Let's talk about how the bill became law. Let's talk about who were the supporters. Now, do you agree with that? Then you should vote them back in office. If you disagree with that, you need to find a new candidate, which means it may not be within the party of your choice. Yeah, this is how serious this is. And if you have anybody out here saying, oh, I'm not sure, my vote don't count, your vote does count. So go ahead and share this video, even if you send it to them later for a replay. But what I'm giving you is information, truth, and nuggets. Y'all, I've researched this stuff and I love it. And this all came from a law course that I took. I told you I wanted to be an attorney, but I would never pass the bar. I never even tried. So don't think I failed. I just never tried. I know my limitations, and maybe I have limitations on myself that I need to stop having on myself. But anyway, y'all, the one act, this act is one of the first in the United States to outlaw abortions as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. And many have already said most women don't even know at 6 weeks. Okay, even for a brief period. In Texas, an estimated 85% of abortions have been performed after the 6-week mark, which is often shortly after a pregnant woman misses her menstrual cycle and before many women have confirmed or are aware of the pregnancy. So that's information I want to share with you. Now, y'all, on September the 9th, 2021, the U.S. Justice Department sued the state of Texas directly in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas, seeking a declaration that the law is unconstitutional and injunction relief. Now, we're waiting to hear what's going to happen from that. Now, there was also a study, and y'all know what I say, Google this for yourself. Google this for yourself. There's also a study produced by researchers from the University of Texas at Austin, claimed that Senate Bill 8 would prohibit 80% of abortions in Texas and would disproportionately affect Black women, lower income women, and women who live far away from facilities that provide abortion care. That's just some nuggets I pulled out of the bill. But I want you to Google the bill for yourself. I'm just here to give you the information. I'm here to spark something in you to say, I want to know something more about this bill. So read the bill. So now how do you read a bill? I got that too. Yeah. I went to my law stuff. Yeah, these are my classes that I love. All right. And I use the Texas Constitution. Okay, let me just read this for you. The Texas Constitution provides that no law shall be passed except by bill. As a result, the bill is an exclusive means by which the legislator may enact, amend, or repeal a statute. Enacted bills can be accessed via the Texas Legislation Information System. Y'all can go pull that out. Y'all can go right now or after News in Motion and look this up. Again, that's the Texas Legislative Information System. All right, and then you can also check it out on the Texas Legislator online as well. Bills have been filed but have not been made through the entire legislation process. Also can be accessed via the TLIS, that's the Texas Law Information System, or the Texas Legislator online. All right, y'all, bills are distributed in either an electronic format or hard copy. Be careful if you don't want your name in the system. Don't ask for a PDF download. Just read it online, okay? Now, here's how a bill is organized, not just for Texas, but for anybody. Y'all, most bills are organized into sections. there are sections that will help you skim through what it is you want to read. So y'all, sometimes you hear that bills are 390 pages or 978 pages, and that scares you off. It's designed to scare you off because they don't want you to read it. But if you go through the sections, bills are broken up into sections. You can look at the headline of the section and read that section. And that section is probably a page, maybe 2 pages. Most often, it's 1 to 2 pages. Every now and then it could be 3 to 5 pages. But still, y'all, it's worth it to read it if you're interested in it. All right, each bill is composed of 3 basic parts: introductory language, substance provision, and procedural provisions. Okay, each bill is compiled, those 3 sections. Y'all, we're talking 3 sections. Y'all can do this. Y'all can do this. Now, introductory language, that's the standard feature of the bill, which includes the heading, the caption, and the enacting clause. Right there, you can determine if this is something of interest to you or not. You have that moment. I see my students coming in here. Yep, just take notes. I'm coming to your classroom in like 30 minutes. Well, you're down the street, 45 minutes, just once I wrap this up. But yes, I want you to write a paper on this. Any other homeschool students, the same thing. You can write a paper on this. You can send it to me. Schools are allowing me to look at it, make comments, and send it back to you. Y'all, I'm loving this. And trust me, y'all have a lot of adults on here looking for this information as well. We are in this together. We are in this together. Y'all, substance provision is a short title. It's a statement of policy or purpose. It's the definition. Most often you want to read the definitions of the bill. You want to read the definitions of the bill. That gives you a lot of information right there. Okay. And then the principal operative provision, and then the enforcement provision. That's the other area you want to look at. What is being enforced? What's being enforced? And then under the procedural provision, y'all, there's a lot here. There are 3 types of procedural provisions. I won't go through all of them. If you are on Patreon, I'll give you all this information on Patreon so you can take a look at it. Now, some of these provisions are temporary and others will be immediately incorporated. Y'all, the $10,000 bounty in Texas is immediately incorporated. Just wanted to let you know. Now, how do you read a bill? You want to check to see if the bill is adding any new language. Do you understand the language? That's why you want to go back to the definition component of the bill to understand and read the definitions. Now, you know, many words have many meanings. So you want to also do your Google and research in the dictionary to get an understanding. When we're talking about Senate bills and House bills, you want to get a law dictionary so that you have an understanding of what's being communicated. Take notes, break it down. Just like when you're reading the Bible, you don't just look at one commentary. You don't look at one translation. You look at several. I snuck that in. I sure did. Now, without even reading for comprehension, you want to just say, okay, any keywords are there any keywords jumping out at me throughout this bill? You want to look at it that way. You want to look at it. Again, look for definitions. I cannot stress how many definitions. Definitions can help determine the scope of a bill, which provides clues about its focus. If you see the same word over and over and over and over again, there's something about that that's important. Yes, yes, yes. I like that, Latrice Jones. Black's Laws Dictionary is the best. It is. It is the best. It is the best. Y'all, we're in school. Look, school's in session today. I hope you're getting this. Y'all scan for each bill section. You can scan, just scan. Y'all, you know how you read a book and you're just going through and something jumps out, or you're reading an article and you're reading it through and something jumps out. That's where the information is. Y'all, hear me. And I really hope you get this if you don't get anything else today. Hear me when I say this. We're hearing so much about the $10,000 bounty, which means it should lead you to ask the question, what's underneath the bounty? Who else signed on to this? Who else is a part of this? That's why I'm always stressing to do your research. Do your research. You'd be amazed at how many people are connected to certain sections of a bill or law. You also connect the dots to follow where the money leads you. Yes. We're in a place today where, okay, we can't really do too much. Okay, we can't say I'm boycotting the gas station because the gas station is now all wrapped up with each other. Well, what are other ways? See, we're so drawn. If I can just be real for a moment, we're so drawn to, I want what I want without having a clear understanding of where it's coming from. And then when you're ready to protest something or boycott something, you can't because you've been using the product or you've been funding the person that you now want to protest. So the thing to do when you're faced with that type of situation is to come clean. To say, you know what, I've been supporting you for 20 something years. I had no idea you were a part of this. But now that I know, I can no longer support you. And here are my reasons why. That's back to letter writing. That's back to Twitter. Y'all run from Twitter. We're all on Facebook and we're all on Instagram and we're on LinkedIn. Listen, Twitter responds immediately. Let me give you an example. You know, Amazon now, you can return things at different locations. And here in Central Ohio, you can return things to Kohl's. Well, something went down wrong and I was returning something and the line was long. And it was a mess. People didn't know if their products were being returned or not. Okay, I'm in line on Twitter while everybody else is tripping. I'm online on Twitter. I tag Amazon. I tag Kohl's. I tag my location. I tagged what I was returning, and I said what was happening. It wasn't 60 seconds. It might have been 20 seconds. Amazon responded. Management and the district manager showed up at Kohl's, and everything went into action and everything fit. There's a voice that we are losing because we're not on Twitter. Y'all, Twitter, you tag them quickly and they will respond back. They have people sitting there waiting to see their tag come up so that they can respond. So something like, if you're wondering how this Texas piece is going, people are tagging and they're saying at Texas or at Texas law. That's a huge one. At Texas civil law is another one. People are then using the hashtag, and that's creating the conversation. Don't sleep on Twitter. Don't sleep on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time. Don't sleep on Twitter. Don't sleep on Twitter. So y'all, okay, so let me keep going. Look for conforming changes to a bill and then check for the repeals. Sometimes they'll float something out there on purpose to get people talking to see, I don't know if we should go this direction, and they'll repeal that back but before it even goes to law. All right, and then also refer to the surroundings of the statutes to put the bill or bill section in context. Now, real quick, and I'm not going to read this whole thing. You'll learn from a bill just by scanning the captions and the heading, also the definitions which I talked about. It'll give you the keywords, so you can also Google keywords. That's the beauty of hashtags today, because now you can Google keywords to see what's happening. All right, y'all, that's what I have. It's a real quick recap, but let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. I may not be able to answer them today, but I will be able to follow up with you and then bring more of the content later. If you're on Patreon, y'all, you don't sleep on Patreon either. You may be thinking, I don't want to pay that monthly fee. People who are on Patreon, if you're in the comment section, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, comment what you get from Patreon. Y'all, it's not just about getting money. You get some serious content on Patreon. And I'm not just blowing it up. I'm just telling you the truth. You get a lot of content on Patreon. All right, y'all, talking about Texas, Hurricane Nicholas. I didn't even know there was a Nicholas. What happened to Larry? Hurricane Nicholas made landfall last night along the Texas Gulf Coast. That happened last night with about 75 miles per hour winds. It has caused flooding and some damage. Again, y'all, the California recall is today. Voters head to the poll today. Y'all don't sleep on that. So many people are thinking, if I just stay home, or they're saying, Larry ain't going to win. See, that's how people win. When you decide to stay home and you don't want to participate, that's what happens. I don't know what's going on here, but bam, there you have it. Yeah. Met Gala returned. Again, I don't know what Kim K was doing right there, but That happened. Y'all, New York City's major Broadway musicals will reopen today, including Hamilton, Wicked, and Lion King. They will reopen today after being closed for 18 months. That's happening, y'all. COVID-19, let's give a standing ovation. 5 to 11-year-olds, get ready, get ready. End of October. That's what Pfizer is talking about, and Moderna is following closely behind about COVID-19 for the 5 to 11-year-olds. Now, let me give you this information from the New York Times. Parents of young children desperately seek vaccine trials. This was their headline. And within that headline, within the actual article, it says parental anxiety is fueled and demand for slots in children's vaccine trials and made appointments scarce. Pfizer, for instance, is fully booked in its clinical trials, a spokesman said. The trial has included 4,500 children, 3,000 who are 5 to 11, 750 who are 2 to 5 years old, and 750 who are 6 months to 2 years old. So there are trials going on out there. Let's continue to pray. Listen. Numbers are continuing to rise. They saw a very small, they said it was less than 0.1% decrease over the weekend. But they said, however, with all the major college teams in packed in stands without masks, although they're outside, they were very close to each other and they were there for 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours. They're expecting to see an increase, the same with the NFL. So y'all do your part, do your part. I don't know if Kenya Nicholson is on, Kenya Harrison is on here this morning or not. But Kenya, we need to get ready for the boosters. I'll give you more information about that offline. Those of you who are in the school system, don't forget on the tangent, I'll be coming to you real soon today. But listen, if you know that there's any school that wants to pipe in and you want to know what I'm doing, an educational piece, just let me know. I can give you the content calendar and we can plug in the school systems. The information I shared today, I learned from a history teacher that is information that they would love. And then she didn't have to teach it because it could come in straight through here. So we are available to do that. All right, y'all, the ministry in motion message for today: lean not to your own understanding. No, research what it is that you're looking at. It's so easy to hear the sound bites. It's so easy to scroll the reels, or it's so easy to scroll through TikTok, where I understand there's great information on all of those platforms. But it's so important to go and do your research. Lean not into your own understanding. When you lean to your own understanding, you can find that you're in a place that's not quite right. Do the research. Y'all, seriously, I've been saying this from day one. I don't say it every day like I used to, but I say it often enough for you to know. Don't just take my word for it. I could easily make mistakes. Do the research for yourself. Do it. When I kept hearing about the $10,000 bounty, I said, there's no way that can be true. I started looking. It's true. It's true. But then when I looked into that and saw the possibilities and the damage and the danger it could do to somebody's mindset, let alone their body, but their mindset, I got very concerned. So I'm begging all of us not to lean to our own understanding, but to get the information that we need. I believe in this season, God is really calling us to a higher standard of living. I really do. And even, we can quote things. We can quote a preacher. We can quote a CEO. We can quote a president. We can quote a senator. We can quote all kinds of things. But I believe in this season, God is saying, that sounds good. That sounds real good. But is that true? Move your understanding out the way and get to the facts. All right, y'all. I'm Gail Dudley with your news in motion. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where this is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And I have a special guest joining me tomorrow to talk about sickle cell awareness. If you have not put your questions in the comment section, do so, and we will be responding to you. So we know what type of content you're looking for. We gave you a peek inside of writing a bill. We gave you a peek inside of what this Texas Heartbeat Act looks like. But we want to make sure we're answering your questions as we are continuing our journey. Until tomorrow, I am Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Y'all know what I say. Let's make some moves.